My name is Sylvain Banot. I'm the director of the Alliance Française Bangkok, and I have the pleasure to welcome today Professor Rémy Jarry, who is a lecturer at Chulalongkorn University and the new professor of the art history course of Alliance Française Bangkok. We wanted you to know more about this art history course, and this is why we decided to organize this press conference online, so you can have a glimpse of all the different artists that we will talk about during this cycle of conferences, which will be held until June 2022. We actually wanted to develop a new course this year, which is an art history course, a course which has been inspired by the one provided by the École du Louvre. The École du Louvre, as some of you may know, is the school of the Musée du Louvre, situated in Paris. This school is one of the best in the world to learn about art history, and they provide courses not only to the students who already have knowledge in art history, but also to those who don't have any knowledge in art history, who can be people passionate by art, or people who would like to get a few more information about the famous paintings that they've seen all over the world, but they still don't understand why these paintings are so famous. So this is why we ask the Professor Rémy Jarry to cooperate with us on this course, because Professor Rémy Jarry is a teacher, a great teacher, who first of all has a great knowledge about art history, of course, but also who is somebody who cares a lot about the audience, about the interaction with the audience, and this is why we are very honored to have him with us in this new adventure. I'd like to remind us that Professor Rémy Jarry holds a PhD in art history and theory from the China Academy of Art and a master's degree in art history of the Sorbonne University of Paris. He is a senior lecturer at Chulalongkorn University, an adjunct professor from the Catholique University of Paris. He is a contributor to Ocula magazine in London, an associate member of ECOM and CIMAM, and the new art history professor of the Alliance Française Bangkok. Once again, thank you so much, dear Rémy, to be with us today.
Thank you very much, Sylvain, for this very kind introduction. So you can see at the moment the first slide about the course content and the schedule of the upcoming lectures. So the next one being Henri Matisse, followed by Marcel Duchamp, Claude Carr, Charlotte Perriand, Henri Cartier-Bresson, and Louise Bourgeois. You can already anticipate that it covers a wide range of artists, but also media and genre. But before going into the course content, I'd like to start with the teaching method, the teaching approach for these courses. And I summarize this, let's say, teaching methods by HI, namely hybrid and interactive. So why hybrid? Because as Sylvain mentioned, it's both online and on-site in the auditorium where we are at the moment. It's above 200 seats, so a very great environment, and also equipped with very large screens behind us, more than 7 by 4 meters wide. And this tool can enable us to really, let's say, use it as a telescope or to enlarge the artwork we'll study. And if you are, let's say, more an online learner, it's also very possible. You can join our Zoom session, and you will have exactly the same content and the possibility to ask questions. Now, what about the interactivity? So that's actually very much about Q&A. Each session is about 2 hours, and it's 2 sequences of 45 minutes followed by Q&A session of 15 minutes. So every participant is able to ask questions, and all the questions are welcome. And this is completed by also the peer evaluation. After each session, we welcome also your feedback to then upgrade possibly the quality and the content of this course to really match your expectation. beside this, let's say, hybrid and interactive approach, I will now speak about the course content. So I summarize this, let's say, philosophy or spirit of the course as START. What does it mean, START? You can see now on your screen. It stands for synthetic, transcultural, artist-focused, reachable, and therapeutic. It's just a way to memorize everything. But that's very much summarize, let's say, the approach that I want to share with you. So let's talk first about synthetic. I know for sure, speaking about art history with non-specialists, it's sometimes quite intimidating to start learning it. You like art, but you don't know where to start. With this overwhelming, let's say, material, books, museum, it's not clear where to go and how to approach art. So this course, actually, it's customized for those profile and without any requirement. And it's called art history, but of course it's also about, let's say, art appreciation as a whole, the ability to read images and to, let's say, fluidify your understanding of those artwork and be able to express your own idea, your own feelings by looking at these artworks. And it also try to cover different media, not only painting, but also sculpture, installation, and also to focus on the relationship of visual arts with other art forms. For example, with the Matisse lecture, we'll speak about music and the relationship of Matisse. And just to go back to the current slide you have in front of you, those are actually two artworks by Matisse, but the first one is actually a very early work by him, a copy of Chardin. And The Sadness of the King, or The Sorrows of the King, is actually one of the latest artwork by Matisse. So this synthetic approach is also about making the link for one particular artist and understand the evolution of the career and the aesthetic of such an artist. Now, let's move to transcultural. So what do I mean by transcultural? It's simply based on the fact that we are here in Thailand, in Asia. So I would like to actually use this context to look back at those artworks and make them also meaningful in East Asia. And by doing that, to avoid Western centrism and also highlight the possible dialogue that those artists have engaged with Asian art, possibly also Southeast Asian artists. So on your screen, you see at the moment Charlotte Perriand, a picture of Charlotte Perriand in Japan in the 40s and one of the iconic chairs. So that epitomizes actually this dialogue between the continents. Henri Cartier-Bresson were also very much at stake, having photographed different parts of Asia. Now let's have a look at the third point, artist focus. So it's instead of covering all the period, I prefer to focus on artists to enable to give you a deep insight, at least on the work of very important artists, and then we can go a little bit more in depth than covering all the periods and all the art movements. And by doing so, I also try my best to maintain a balance between male and female artists. Right now on your screen, you have, for example, two photographs by Claude Carr, a prominent photographer. At that time, that was a very, very new genre. Photograph was not, let's say, recognized as prestigious as painting, and we will look into her work. It's also a very interesting work in terms of gender studies, and so with comma and bracket, you may actually look at this also from the perspective of Instagram, retrospectively. It's very interesting how she kind of curates herself in her work. A lot of self-portraits are actually in her work. Beside that, so reachable, the fourth point is actually to make everything, let's say, accessible for any kind of public, and also in a friendly atmosphere. So all the questions can be asked. Of course, it's in the end a kind of collective experience, especially if you join the auditorium. A little bit like watching a movie, but we can actually speak during this particular movie. And last but not least, therapeutic, so the T of START. What is it about? It's simply about art therapy. It's actually a very important field of academic research at the moment, because we have clear evidence about the power of art on our mental health. So you don't need to suffer from mental health to join those art courses, but it has been proven that it has, let's say, it's very beneficial for your balance, and you can see at the moment a lot of articles being written about this topic in this post-COVID time, because we kind of need more interaction. We need to go back to museums and so on. So I think there is something very timely for you. And I will actually leave you with a reproduction of the famous painting of Henri Matisse, the dance, La Danse number 2, the version that is in Russia. And speaking of art therapy, I just invite you to meditate about the feeling that you have looking at this particular artwork. Does it change actually your mood? And then that could be actually the start of this cycle of courses. So I hope to see you soon. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sylvain, for inviting me, and all the best.
Thank you, Rémy. You're all kindly invited to check the program on our website, ifthailand.org. The next conferences will be dedicated to Henri Matisse on the 5th of March, to Marcel Duchamp on the 19th of March, and to Claude Carr on the 2nd of April. Thank you very much.